Good afternoon. It is 4:25 on the clock. And today we are going to talk about Islam spiritually and symbolically. Islam in the beginning. It didn't begin as a conquest of ideology or even a patriarchal system. Spiritually and symbolically, Islam emerged as return to oneness, which is what represents the Tawhid. At the time of its origin, society was fragmented, power was hoarded, women, orphans, and the poor were exploited. Truth was divided into tribal gods and ego based authority. Islam functioned as a correction, not as a replacement, but it restored one God instead of many false authorities, accountability instead of unchecked power, mercy paired with justice, order without tyranny. Symbolically, Islam is the reset of alignment between heaven and earth. The Prophet Muhammad symbolically represents the human receiver of divine law, not divine himself, but fully accountable. The seal of a prophetic cycle, meaning completion, not domination. Symbolically, he closes an era of fragmented messages. He delivers structure to prevent spiritual chaos. He anchors revelation into daily life, law, ethics, mercy. This is containment, not control. The Quran, the symbolic meaning, is not just a book, it's a resuscitation. Symbolically, sound is vibration. Vibration is order of reality. The Quran restores balance, which is the Mizan. This is to wake conscious, to correct injustice, to call people back to remembrance, not fear, not blind obedience, to remembrance. Where distortion entered like spiritual systems, Islam was later politicized, political, political sized, whatever, weaponized, patriarchal sized, and fossilized into rigid law without spirit. This is not unique to Islam, the human misuse of divine structure. Symbolically, when law loses mercy, it completely just stops being divine. Freeing the people actually means spiritually, and this is very important because no one is coming to save you. It's ego, it's egotistic mythology. You need to free yourself. So, remembering truth over illusions, releasing fear based authority, returning to inner alignment with justice. Liberation is internal remembrance, not external conquest. When people awaken, false systems collapse naturally. Corruption cannot sustain itself. Truth does not need to be forced. What is being corrected now across the world in all traditions? People return to essence over institution, and they are questioning power without their conscience. They're separating God from control systems, and this is not Islamic. This is not Islamic, Christian, or mystical. This is a universal correction. Islam symbolically is one pillar of that reminder that submission is to the truth, not to man. The core truth of Islam, symbolically, is that God is one. Power must answer to justice. Wealth must circulate. The vulnerability must be protected. Knowledge requires humility. Authority without conscious collapses, and anything that violates these principles is absolutely not aligned and needs to be taken out, corrected, regardless of whatever label it is being carried as. The final spiritual statement to this is that Islam began a course correction, and it will remember again as one. Not through fear, not through domination or false kings, but through knowledge, discernment, mercy paired with truth. This is divine, real liberation. So, why am I pointing this out? I'm pointing this out not to claim authority over the people or religion or future, but to remember what was forgotten in your motherfucking blood. Who we are and who we are not meant to be on the 3D realm. We are not slaves to man. We don't pay the prices that everyone else pays when they don't submit. Every bloodline carries memory. Some carry memory of the land, some of the law, some of suffering, some of prayer, and some of correction. My bloodlines hold the imprint of the return to essence when systems drift into distortion. Not to overthrow, not to dominate, not to replace, but to remind you. Islam, at its root, speaks the same language that my blood remembers. Oneness over fragmentation, justice over power, mercy over rigidity, and accountability over ego. When I point this out, it's not just about Islam alone. It's about recognition across all lineages. The moment when ancestral memory activates discernment instead of fear. To see the truth harden into control, to separate divine structure from human misuse, and to remember God without needing any domination whatsoever. To hold law and compassion in the same breath. This isn't my personal mission. It's not a prophecy, and it's definitely not superiority. It's remembrance moving through the blood. Correction is not coming through force. It's coming when the memory returns to consciousness, and that is where I come in. You see, I get little tugs and nudges and little things, and when I decode stuff, and I need to remember who I am and where I came from. I'm not just Cuban, Puerto Rican, American, Dominican, Italian, Portuguese. I am also Asian. I am also African, Caribbean. I am also not of this world. I hold 8 Italian bloodline. I am Greek. I am Hebrew. I am Egyptian, Sumerian, Siberian, Russian, German. My blood is what the United States of America and what the world holds. With that being said, know your roots. Get to know thyself is to get to know God. Now you know why I'm so divinely protected. Because I have ancestors protecting me from all across the nation, the galaxies, the planets, the stars, and even in the deepest, darkest sea. So, fuck around and find out. Because the rule of law is real. And it's been happening since the day I walked into your lives, because God knew everything that you were all going to do to me. It's not illness, it's a plague. You still have time. But you're not going to escape it easily. You need to recognize who you are and understand all of the traumas that you went through. Just like I had to go through everything. Every horrific memory. Every horrific awakening. Every horrific dark night of the soul that I have had. You will have to endure. You will not escape.